On. I am. My name is Mike Marriott, and I will be taking you through this home buyer training PowerPoint that we have set up here. So let's begin. So first of all, you have to understand what wholesaling is in order to really understand, obviously what you're doing. So you have three types of wholesales that we do. We have an assignment, and that's when you would get a property under contract and then sell the interests of the property to another investor. We also have a double close. That's when we would basically buy the property and then sell it quickly. Most times it happens on the same day. So we'll close on that property twice. A to B, B to C. Assignment would be just A to B, and our company would be cut a check as a middleman. And you also have wholesale, when a house is not quite ugly enough to wholesale, but it's really not nice enough to retail, and then it's a candidate for wholesaling. So a wholesale property would be a property that we're basically, you don't have to, you could literally close on this property and then sell it within a couple weeks or whatever, right back on the market. And that's going to take, we're going to have to, in order to do that, you're going to have to get some transactional funding or a short loan, like some sort of hard money in order to do that. But there's definitely potential that we can sell to a retail. Our end user is going to be a retail person, and they can move in the property, maybe get a mortgage or something. Motivated sellers, we're going to get motivated sellers from different sources. We have a bunch of different live web lead sources that we're getting our leads from. We have mailers that we send out. We have call snipers. So the mailers that we send out, we have different lists: vacant properties, vacant lots. We have absentee owners, a bunch of different things that are going to be on the mailers. And then we're going to have a volume of calls and people that call in from the postcards, and then we'll get those live leads into our system. If we don't make contact on the first go around, I ship that list out to a service called Call Sniper, and they're virtual assistants that make calls to those people until those leads are contacted. They'll try to call them nonstop. And we have Bird Dogs. Bird Dogs is a good source of motivated sellers. So we'll have people take pictures of houses. Deal Machine under that, and Response Deal Machine is the app where you take pictures of the vacant house, and it'll mail them a postcard. We also have Response.com, which is pre-foreclosure, so it's a list of every property that's going to auction in the area, and we can get their contact information. We can reach out to them via phone. We can send them a postcard. Different ways to do that. And then we also have canvassing and bandit signs. So bandit signs would be, we buy houses, you stick that in the ground. And canvassing is we have door hangers. You can pop them on properties, and we can get some business that way. Is the property for sale? I'm interested. That's the basic script for the phone. You can get an appointment on just about any property that's out there, whether it's a first sale by owner, an expired listing, any one of these motivated sellers that are actually selling the property. It's simply, is the property for sale? Yes, I'm interested. We would obviously do a little bit of qualifying on the phone with them. We figure out, there's certain questions we ask. Do you have a mortgage? How much do you have any liens, encumbrances on the property? We find out if they actually have an ability. What are you looking to get for the property? Those type of questions. Calling motivated sellers. You want to figure out their level of motivation. When do they want to sell? Why do they want to sell is huge. You need to find out their pain. Find out why. What is their primary objective? Okay? Why are you selling? What happens when you sell? That's the best question you could probably ask is what has you looking to sell? What happens when the property is sold? What's going to happen when you sell this house? What's going to happen in a perfect world? When do you see yourself moving out of this house? It's all about asking the right questions. I'm not sure. Are you talking to the owner? Okay, so you want to make sure that the person you're talking to is actually the owner of the property. Whoops. Sorry. want to make sure the property owner is the person you talk to. You know, are you on the deed? Is there anybody else on the deed? Are you able to sell? You know, are they even able to sell? Sometimes these people, they can't sell for whatever reason. I mean, they have you know, different things like, oh yeah, somebody else is on the deed. They live out of the country, or we divorce, and or maybe they're not even on the deed. Maybe they, you know, their mom died and they left them the house, and there's some hoops we have to jump through in order to be able to even get them to the closing table. So you want to find out the level of motivation. When are you going to, you know, when do you see yourself moving? Why do you want to sell? What happens when you sell this house is the most important question. You know, set the appointment, qualify that lead. Property valuations, research to get your ARV or after repair value. It's so important to find out what that property is worth. There's a bunch of different things that are going to go into an ARV. You know, there's things like you want to look at the Google Maps. Google Maps is going to tell you whether there's an apartment building right there in their backyard, or they're right next to a recycle facility, or a, you know, landfill, or if they're right near a river. You want to check the flood zone maps. You want to see potential hazards. You know, you want to check out the public records to see the last time that property was listed. How much did they try to sell for? Look, hey man, you're trying to sell the property for $50,000 2 years ago, and you're asking me for $50,000 now. Why didn't it sell? Did you get any offers? What was the reason that it didn't sell? You know, so you want to dig deeper. You need to know old history, MLS history. Public records is going to give you the sale and tax information. So if they bought it last year for $30,000, you know what I mean, and they took out a mortgage for $30,000, they can't sell it for $10,000 unless they paid that thing off, you know, in 1 year. You know, we had a property just recently. The people tried to sell. Their public records said, "Yo, you took out a $180,000 mortgage 10 years ago, and you're trying to sell it to me today for $22,000." It doesn't work like that unless you have a proof that you paid off that mortgage. These people didn't even know. They thought because they went bankrupt that mortgage went away, but it doesn't. So they still got to pay that mortgage. So we could not buy that property for $22,000. The only way we could buy it for $22,000 if they were going to bring the rest of the money, the balance plus closing costs, to the table with them. So a check for, let's say they owed $100,000, they have to bring us a check for almost $90,000 in order to sell us that house. They'd have to pay $90,000 just to sell the house. They got to pay off that mortgage. Potential issues on the property. You know, I mean, you're looking at things like you know, that surrounding neighborhood. You're just trying to figure out what's going on with the house. Is it a marketable house? And all those things go into your ARV. Is it on a busy street? You know what I mean? Those type of issues. What kind of neighborhood is it in? They'll give you a good idea of finding an ARV. It's going to take a long time for you to really get that down, to get down how much a property is worth for what area. So how's the street? How's the neighborhood? In Philadelphia, we're going street to street. You know what I mean? This is looks like Broad Street or something like that. You know, it's a double yellow in the middle, busier street. So you're going to price that accordingly. So we can make or lose $50,000 if we miss certain details on a property. Streets are everything in Philadelphia. The Google Maps aren't as reliable in Philly because you're going to see that a certain street in Philly, you could have 10 renovations, 10 new constructions on that street. And if the map was from 2015 or even 2016, you're not even going to see what's actually going on at that street. So in order to get an idea of, you know, get a good feel, you have to walk the street, park your car, walk around the block, you know, really get to know a feel for the neighborhood and what's going on. If you see a lot of renovations going down, a lot of dumpsters, a lot of new constructions, then we can probably dispose of it pretty easily, and we might be able to, you know, be a little bit more flexible in what we can pay. Let's see. Always check the public records and flood maps. So this particular property, I think I just pulled it up, but it was just showing you, you know, some funky stuff going on here with the property. It was sold in 2013. it was it was sold in 98, in 04, in 13. It was listed in 13, expired. So we want to know what's going on nearby. You can check Philly.gov to see if they owe taxes. You can check different sites to see how much they owe. It's going to affect how much we can purchase that property for. What's the zoning? That's also important too. Is it highway commercial? Is it residential? Okay. ARV and MAO. ARV is well, cash comps is cash comps. So cash comps is what we present when we're making offers. So we'll go to see comps, and I'm gonna take a look at other renovated properties in the area, and I'm gonna say, okay, this guy sold it for 300. Let me see what he paid for it. Looks like he paid about a year and a half ago. He paid $70,000. So I know I could probably sell my property for $70,000 cash. You know what I mean? You look at all the different renovated properties in the area, and you look at the history and the public records to see how much they paid for that property, because it'll give you a good idea of what we can sell it for. ARV is the after repair value. You want to see easiest way for me is to go 200 down, 200 up on square footage. There's going to be different factors that add or take away from value. Obviously in Philadelphia, I'm not going to compare two properties if one has a garage and the other one doesn't, because a garage is worth $80,000 in Fishtown. You know what I mean? So you might have different things like off-street parking that are going to add huge value in Philadelphia. But in New Jersey, it's really not going to make that big a difference. A garage in New Jersey might only be worth $5,000 or $10,000, where it's worth, $80,000, $100,000 in South Philly. It all depends on where you're at. But yeah, garages are huge in Philadelphia. MAO formula, which is your maximum allowable offer. And you typically want to take the ARV and multiply that by 0.65 or 0.7. And then you're going to subtract your repairs, and you're going to subtract the wholesale fee, and that's going to be your MAO. Wholesale fee is $10,000. So your maximum offer, and then you're gonna go 10% under that for your first offer, or even lower. Based on what the cash comps are, we can get an idea. Okay, we got our MAO, but then we got our cash comps. So look, if I know I can get $70,000 for these properties, and my MAO is like let's say my MAO is 80, or no, let's go under. Let's say my MAO is 40, and we're seeing that cash comps can sell for 70. That's a huge difference between the two. But I'm gonna stick pretty close to the MAO, but I know I can go a little bit higher because I'm seeing cash comps that are presenting, a little bit better. It's gonna allow me to sell it for a little bit more. Okay, in the appointment, getting to the kitchen table, you're obviously you're going to want to warm the people up. You want to go through the property, take a walk through, get the nickel tour, and find out about the problems. You want to use that time to build rapport. You want to make a list of everything that's wrong in the property. You're going to ask them how much it costs for them to fix it up. You're going to want to make them understand why your offer is what it is. You're going to bend the reality on a fair offer. We're going to make sure that they understand that what we're presenting to them is a fair offer, and we're going to make them tell us how much things cost, so that they can, basically realize that we're there to close the deal. We're not there to, buy their house. We're there to solve their problem. Find the why, solve the problem. Finding the why is the key to negotiation. So, you want to find out, again, that's that question, what happens after you sell this house? Oh man, it's going to be great. Don't have to ever worry about, the violation letters from the city, or the letters from the attorneys from the city. And I just, I don't have to worry about people breaking in there, liability, and it's just going to, it's going to be gone. So we're there to solve the problem. We're there to take away the pain, and, we're there to sell them a vision of their problem that leaves your proposal as the perfect solution. So right there, that being said, that's the objective, is to sell them a vision of their problem that leaves your proposal as the perfect solution. And by doing that, we're solving problems. We're there to say, listen, we make this all go away. We're going to get you to closing. You don't have to do a damn thing. That's it. Make the offer. Keep it simple. Write down your numbers. You want to make multiple offers when you're at the table, so you can give an offer. Give them a 2-week close option. You can give them a wholesale price option, and we give them a market price option. Market price is going to be that price. You're showing them what it would be if to list it. You're going to paint the picture of certainty versus uncertainty, and people are going to choose the lower number if they see a higher percentage, and it's just going to allow them to realize that we are going to provide them with multiple solutions. We're there to help. So whatever you want to do, whether it's take a real quick close, you can be done with this thing in 2 weeks. We don't have to bring anybody through. Maybe one person, 2 people. That's it. I'm just getting a couple people. You can have a 30 or 45 day close and say, listen, here's what's going to happen. With this option, I'm going to be marketing it to. You're going to see. You might see your property on Zillow, Trulia. You know what I'm saying? It might be out there, and we're going to market this thing. We don't know what we're going to do with it. We might put a renter in there. We might renovate it. I might knock it down. And so if you see your property listed out there for $100,000, it's because I'm trying to get Mr. and Mrs. Smith in here to check the place out, because a lot of times we sell these properties before we're even closed on them. We sell them to the end user, and we're kind of like Property Brothers and all these shows out there where we're going to walk people through houses that need work, and we're going to sell them the after product, and we're going to do the work for them. So we still have to get some people through there. You're still going to have to get a few people there. And all you need to know is that, look, we agreed on a price, and we're going to get you within 45 days or less. We're going to get you cash, and we're going to close this deal out. But you have to work with us. You have to give us access to the property. In most cases, we can get a lockbox on there. We don't even have to come through when you're home. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is that we're solving the problem. We're going to get you to closing within 45 days. Your other options is to list it on the market. And that's, getting realtors in here and appraisers and lawyers and inspections. You might be in a situation where you might go under contract and then you might, end up canceling a deal because they find termites, or if they find wood rotting or mold or something like that. And then you got to go back on market. It's really a whole lot of stress. These 2 options are a lot less stressful. It's a lot more hands off for you. You don't have to make any more decisions. The decisions are made already. This one, there's going to be a lot of decisions. There's going to be a little bit of stress. I can't promise a stress-free situation. We'll make it as stress-free as possible. But either way, we're going to get the job done for you. So you paint a picture of exactly what I said there. So it's a stress-free kind of situation. Next slide, acquisitions contract, real basic. Fill in the dates, standard closing, 30 days due diligence, 45-day close. We'll close as soon as the title's ready in some cases. We'll close as soon as possible. We're going to, make sure you bring this to every appointment and fill in the prices and dates. And you want to make sure before you go on an appointment, hey, is everybody that's on the deed, are they going to be present at this appointment? Because I don't want to waste anybody's time. So you want to make sure that all parties are there and let them sign. So put it out on the table and get that signature. You want to make sure and take lots of property photos. You want to take at least 2 pictures of every room. Take a picture of all the damage that you see in a property. You also want to take pictures of all the major systems. And you want to take a picture of like the street view, the both ways of the street. Do the work. Consistency is going to help you get paid. Minimum 10 appointments per week. Blah blah blah. Recommended books. We could skip those. You guys can look over that, and that's pretty much it.